This video is gonna be a mess, but my life is a mess right now, so it just fits right in, folks. If you're wondering the reasoning for the new location, it's because unfortunately the title is not clickbait and I just don't have a house right now. So this is my grandparents' house. If I don't seem as lively, not that I ever really do, and maybe I seem a little bit more painfully sarcastic in this video or something, please understand, because first, I want to just start off by saying that I'm not making this video so that everyone will like pity me or something. I don't need everyone's empathy. I'm really just making this video to prove that you can bounce back, and because I think it's an interesting story and I feel like I owe it to you guys to explain a little bit of my life and why I'm here, really. Obviously, your house flooding is never good, but some people don't have a house that they can call their own, and some people aren't fortunate enough to have a place to stay if something like this happened. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I do know that it could be so much worse. I feel like whenever big life events like this one happen, you tend to gain more perspective for everyone around you, and so I just wanted to kind of get that out there. I don't know if that made any sense. I'm not really a philosopher or anything, but let's just get into the story. So winter break started and everything was going pretty swell. You know, I was like eating a lot of holiday foods and I got to hang out with my friends, and I filmed my what I got for Christmas video. At the beginning of that video, I talked about how I wanted to do an explanation video because I took kind of an extended break from YouTube, and I've just been struggling with consistency for a little bit because, trust me when I say this, a lot has happened in the past few months of my life, so I thought about doing a video on that. But then this happened, and so I might do a separate video on that one. Might just kind of skip over it. One of my main plans for winter break was to go visit one of my friends who's in college, Taylor actually. She's been in a video before. She goes to college a couple of hours away from where I live, but my mom's brother actually lives very close by. So me, my mom, and my brother and my sister all decided to go, and then we would stay at my uncle's house, but then I could also visit my friend. So it was just like a really fun trip that we had planned. So everything was going as planned. We dropped Taylor off back at her college on the 1st, and then we drove a couple of hours home. So when we pulled into the driveway, I was just in the back seat and I was reading a book for my English project, and I wasn't really too anxious to get out of the car. I was just finishing my page, taking my sweet time, and then I hear my mom yell when she gets into the house, and she just like freaked out. She was like, and I walk into my house and I'm like, whoa, what is going on? When someone tells you about a flooded house, you either think about like just their basement flooding, or you think about some huge hurricane or natural disaster that has hit that would ruin the house, and this was neither of those. So I was kind of just perplexed at first. There was a couple solid minutes of all of us just looking around, not really knowing what to do at all. And then all of a sudden my mom's just like, we gotta call someone. And I was like, you're right. So my mom's kind of running around the house frantically trying to stop the water from coming from the ceiling, and she put my brother and I in charge of calling people. So, you know, we're calling our grandparents, we're calling my one friend's dad who's like a contractor. The problem with the first couple of calls that we made was really no one was answering, and I think that just took the panic from here to here real quick. Keep in mind that I'm wearing my pajamas, which consist of a sweatshirt and some shorts and fuzzy socks. But the adrenaline was so high that I ran through my own yard in the snow in like 20-degree weather or whatever, up to my one neighbor's house and was like knocking on the door like, please help. No one was home, and I ran back, and I'm completely soaking wet from the snow and the water in my house, but I didn't feel anything. So anyways, my grandparents arrive, and my grandpa, brother, and I go downstairs to the basement, and we go in like this back storage room that we have, and we are trying to figure out how to shut off the water. Basically in my house you had to remove this kind of panel, and then there was a valve there, and normally I guess you would like twist it, but this one was a little bit weird and you had to like turn it off. I don't know, it was kind of stuck too, but eventually we turned off the water. Apparently whenever you shut the water off or something like that happens, you have to let all of the remaining water in the pipes flush out. So I went to the basement sink and then turned it on all the way and just let it run until eventually no more water was coming out. Whenever water collects for a long time, it can get like trapped in the paint or something, I don't even know, but it creates these really big bubbles. So we were going around and like popping those, and there was water pouring out of them, and we were catching it in buckets and then setting up buckets and stuff to catch other leaks. And we were also just towel drying the whole place and trying to get as much water off of the floors and stuff as possible. We got a bunch of those shop vac things, and those were running. We were really just trying to get all of the excess water out of the house and trying to prevent even more damage from happening. We had called insurance and we were following the steps that they told us to follow and just kind of listening to their advice while we waited for the professionals to come. So we were also removing valuables and furniture and boxes and all that kind of stuff from our house and putting it into the garage. Eventually these people came to our house, and I don't really know what to call them. They deal with floods and other home disasters and like try to restore them. I don't really know what profession that is exactly, but they told us basically how our house flooded, and I'm gonna do my best to explain that to you right now, but keep in mind I am not fluent in the language of houses that flood. An extender in my mom's upstairs bathroom, so the master bathroom, burst and broke open, and an extender is basically what connects the faucet of the sink to the main water pipes, if that makes any sense. Here's a picture of it. That to me didn't really seem like a huge opening. Like, I wouldn't think that that would be enough to flood a house, but apparently with that kind of opening, about a gallon of water or so can escape per minute. So once you realize the fact that that extender could be leaking about a gallon of water per minute and connect it with the fact that we had been gone for multiple days, you can kind of see where all the water came from. Also, because the broken extender was on the top floor, it went to the main floor and also down into the basement as well. Water damage is one of those weird things where generally it looks alright, like some stuff has water on it, not a big deal, just dry it up and you'll be fine. But that's just not the way that it works. It's actually pretty unsafe to be in a house that has a ton of water damage. I thought I would show you guys some pictures, I guess, to add credibility to my story, also just so you kind of get the severity of the situation. I had to take all of these for insurance purposes, but also just because I kind of wanted them to have in the future so I could remember exactly what it all looked like. Here's a picture of a wall in my basement. As you can see, it has all those creases and folds, and all of those little pockets are filled with water, so if you poked them, water would come out. So we have a storage room in our basement, and that had a lot of water in it, and this was the ceiling right outside of the entrance to that. So as you can see, the ceiling like crumpled from all the water, and then the light that we had came down, I guess. And then this was the ceiling actually in the storage room. So as you can see, a ton of the ceiling just came apart, and you can see all the foam insulation and stuff. This to me was one of the most memorable leaks, and it was in the kitchen, and normally they had really big bubbles, but they hadn't popped yet, so we would go around and pop them and the water would come out. But this one had already had so much water in it and so much weight that it just gave out and it was already dripping. You can just hear the amount of water still leaking from it after days of it bursting. Here are two of the pretty big bubbles that were in our kitchen. After a while, people started nagging me to put on actual clothes, so I put on leggings and I changed out of my soaking wet socks and into some flip-flops. Oh my god, I forgot I did that. I took videos of just me squishing the carpet because every time you would walk, your foot would just like hit a little puddle of water. I think the storage room was definitely one of the worst parts because water had just pooled up on everything. This is another example of something that looked okay, but then you could just poke your fingers through the drywall. Hopefully those pictures and videos kind of helped with the overall gist of it. Basically, what was ruined was my mom's entire bathroom. Her closet floor flooded, so they have to get new flooring in there. My mom's actual bedroom flooded, so a lot of the stuff on the ground is ruined. They have to get new flooring, that kind of thing. My bedroom flooded. I actually got pretty lucky in a sense that right before I left, I moved a lot of my stuff somewhere else. Like, I know I had my computer, pretty much all my Christmas presents on my floor, and for some reason at the last second I moved like my computer and shoes and camera to a shelf in my room, so that stuff was all okay, but a lot of my clothes that were on my floor were ruined, and my closet also flooded, so a lot of stuff in there was ruined. Actually, my backpack was on my floor, and that was probably my biggest L because all of my school stuff got soaked. The stairs flooded, so all the carpet is ripped up from there already. We're basically gonna have to get new floors throughout the entire house. So downstairs, the hardwoods are toast. Our entire kitchen is gonna have to get completely redone. My last video, if you guys didn't see, I actually filmed in my kitchen because I cut my friend's hair. So I'm kind of happy. I pre-filmed that before I left, and I'm really happy that I have that because that's how my old kitchen used to look. A lot of our furniture, just in general, was ruined because some of it's wooden, and just obviously all of the water damage took a toll on that. The main one, the big one, was just our basement. Just the whole thing really did not do so hot. So that was how my New Year's went. That is how I spent the first day of 2018. And honestly, it can only go up from there, right? I'm sorry if it wasn't that entertaining, but I just felt compelled to update you guys and just let you know what exactly is happening. I'm gonna try my best to stay on my YouTube game, but I honestly cannot promise anything just because my life is so hectic right now. If you guys are interested in any kind of update or like transformation type thing, the easiest way for me to do that might be on my social media, so I'll put my username right here. Follow me, don't follow me. All right, love you guys. Bye.